On the face of it, the Alfa Romeo Junior Veloce is a car that should not work. After all, it's based on the same platform as the Vauxhall E-Mocha and the Peugeot E2008. They all share the same front-wheel drive layout, and the Alfa is powered by the same 54 kilowatt-hour battery as the Peugeot. Yet, it's nothing like the other two cars I've just mentioned. Why, you're asking? Well, because it's an Alfa Romeo Junior Veloce. What, then, does Veloce actually mean? Well, according to my Italian dictionary on my phone, it means fast. So this is the fast flagship Alfa Romeo Junior. The front-wheel drive Alfa Romeo Junior Veloce gets 276 brake horsepower. It'll also do the 0 to 62 mile an hour run in just under 6 seconds, 5.9 if memory serves. There's also the matter of what Alfa's historically excellent engineers have been up to about here somewhere. First up is the addition of a limited slip differential. Now, I'm not an engineer, but I think if I can understand this, so can you. A limited slip differential means that, maybe I was lying actually, I'm just going to have to read this to you. A limited slip differential, unlike an open differential, sends all the power to the wheel with less traction. A limited slip differential, however, transfers power to the wheel with more grip, which allows the vehicle to accelerate and corner more effectively. What else, then, have the big brain folk in Milan been doing under the skin of the Veloce? Well, there is a much lowered ride height. There is an upgraded suspension with stiffer dampers and springs. They've beefed up the anti-roll bars and fitted it with a proper quick steering rack, which means you can chuck it about like an old school front-wheel drive Alfa. The Veloce name also means you get sporty red 4-caliper piston brakes and red detailing here and here. And that's good because red means fast. And that's the rules. There's these big 20-inch wheels and the Trad Alfa Scudetto grille with a new take on that iconic logo. Now, it's been likened to a beak by some unpleasant types online. But in my book, they're bang wrong and should have just gone to Specsavers. Alfa Romeo has given the Veloce these seatbelts as standards. Now, I don't think they're particularly handsome, and they certainly don't look particularly comfortable. But they really, really are. They're proper huggers and not in the way of a 1970s BBC TV presenter. I mean, they're genuinely nice to sit in over long distances. More on that later, though. Also, it's an Alfa, so immediately it's going to look fantastic, and thankfully it looks nothing like the Vauxhall or the Peugeot. In fact, it's actually one of the few cars I've had that's garnered thumbs up from other motorists of all ages, whether they be teenagers, whether they be, I don't know, everyone really. And I've also had comments like, nice car that, when it's been parked up. In fact, my only criticism of the design of this car would be the Erase grey paint that we have here. I just don't think it suits it as well as the, you know, that lovely deep metallic Brera red that just, I don't know, it's Alfa's traditional colour. Nonetheless though, it does look fantastic either way. Let me know if you agree in the comments. Before I settle down in the Veloce's 400 litre boot, well, you keep your charging cables under here. Story time with George from EV Powered. Well, Alfa Romeo quotes the Veloce to have a real-world range of 255 miles. It's not, it's actually 207 because I've done it. I got sent on a drive down south earlier this week and I took this and I was expecting, considering it's a 276 brake horsepower, you know, hot crossover, essentially, I was expecting it to be a really unpleasant journey. And, you know, I would have ended up parking this and getting the bus home. Genuinely, I was that fearful. But I ended up charging just twice, and that was for an hour. I think the first time was because I needed to finish some work and talk to our editor Matt about the government EV grant that's come in, and the second time was because I fancied a poo and a second prawn sandwich. So on the way back to north, up north, I charged to 100%, which you shouldn't really do. We all know it's 80, but it was a long trip and rules are there to be broken. But over the course of 410 miles over 2 days, this averaged, and I'm not joking, 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour, which, considering this isn't designed at all to be, you know, trawling up and down the M25 and then sat in traffic, I think that's seriously, seriously impressive, and absolutely kudos to Alfa Romeo for, well, making a performance hatch or performance crossover, whatever you want to call it, do that. Absolutely well done. Yeah, one more thing. Now, I know you pitchforky lot in the comments and go, oh yeah, but you added 2 hours to your journey. Oh, that was jiggling a bit much. I need to lose some weight. No, I know, you know, I'm going to get comments. Oh, but you added 2 hours to your journey. Yes, I did. And I would have added 2 hours to my journey anyway if I was in an ICE car, because I would have had to have stopped, filled it up, done whatever. And I'll be honest with you, I actually spent more time sat in traffic on the M25 than I did at charging stations. So there's not really an argument there. The other thing that I just wanted to end on is that you hear this stereotype that Alfa Romeos are unreliable, but, you know, on this sort of big trip that I did down south and back, it didn't let me down once. So, you know, all that cazzato about Alfa Romeos being unreliable and, you know, it's going to get fizzy electrics, it's going to let you down and this, that and the other. Well, no, it didn't at all. I mean, to be fair, this is a new one, so, you know, but still, you know, solid. First up, I mean, not in terms of headroom, the cabin is very, very snug. There's also all of this Veloce only Alcantara, which is here on the, where the glove box is underneath. It's also on the steering wheel on the top and the bottom, which to me seems a bit malplaced. Also, another thing with the steering wheel is it's really, really thin and feels quite hollow. Also, I don't know if you can see there, but there's some blistering on my thumb and then there as well on my fingers just through holding it. But nonetheless, the steering is responsive and you do get plenty of feedback through this. Around the Veloce's cabin, there are plenty of brittle plastics. They're also, you know, this sort of fake, what I believe is aluminium titanium trim here. For the air conditioning system, it's been lifted from the Jeep Avenger, which is a sister car of the Alphas, and the Abarth 600E and 600E Scorpionissima, further sisters of the Alfa. Now, this is of a certain quality, and it sort of moves if you touch it, but fair play to Alfa and parent company Stellantis for giving us actual buttons instead of having to jab away on the screen to cool yourself down and then ending up in a ditch in a ball of flame. One final thing, shout out for what's now become, you know, you remember back in the day when Toyota had that digital clock that was in absolutely every Toyota? Well, you know, it's not every Stellantis car, but most of them, whether it be a Citroen, whether it be an Alfa, whether it be Peugeot, whether it be a Vauxhall, have this sort of same gear selection layout and drive mode and electronic handbrake here, and the same start-stop button, and the same gear shifter too. So, you know, it's everywhere. And on buttons, if you press here, there is a shortcut to the car's ADAS systems, which you can just turn off. So turn lane, keep assistance off, turn excessive speed warning. Yeah, we'll ignore that one. Turn driver attention alert off, confirm. And if you press here, naturally being a 2025 car, there's Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, if that's your thing. And if this is really your thing, you can press this button here to go home and use the inbuilt Alfa Stellantis system, which, yeah, it's it's not great. And when you're actually trying to use it on the move, it's quite laggy, and there we go. There's some lag there. bit more lag there. I mean, it's only marginal, but compared to like class best from Skoda or whatever, you'll notice it. If we look at the driver display, well, I mean, it's fine. And also these sort of dial housings, these dual dial housings, are a nice nod to Alfas of the past. I do quite like this. So anyway, back to eco mode. And again, if you switch through the drive modes, so from natural, which is normal, unnatural, sorry, dynamic, which is spicy, or performance mode, and then advanced efficiency, which is, you know, Alfa Romeo E's for eco mode. At the start of this video, I said I wasn't expecting the Veloce to work. I mean, at 42 grand, it's quite expensive. And, well, the bigger, more powerful Skoda Elroq is, well, 46,000. Also, this is based on two extremely forgettable, really quite dull EVs. In fact, I thought that the Veloce would be very much a case of head over heart, but it's not. I mean, it looks fantastic. It's got an enormous heart, it drives fantastically, and it can seat four comfortably. The thing that's impressed me most about this car is not how it looks or how well it drives. I mean, it's brilliant at doing that, but the most mind-blowing thing is its ability to just hoover up miles effortlessly, comfortably. You know, it's one of those cars where you go out for a carton of milk and, you know, some bread, and then you end up driving Switzerland because it's just that engaging and that effortless. In fact, I would say, accidentally or not, that the people at Alfa Romeo, well, they've got a little GT on their hands here. Grazie mille for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.